we've got a new weekly challenge. Now, while I said I was going to be taking a step back from The Walking Dead No Man's Land, that doesn't mean that I'm quitting playing entirely. I've still got some more videos for the game that I want to do, videos that I can dedicate a bit more time to now that I'm not going to do the last stands and all of that kind of thing. Something that's going to be quite important is to get at least a handful of stars in the weekly challenge, so I'm going to be doing it, and I thought I may as well do a weekly challenge guide video as well, like I normally do. This is the Commonwealth War. Doorstopper, open the gate. I'm not familiar with this mission. Might come to me as soon as we see it, but I don't know what it is just off by heart. Gabriel is our star hero, and he's not very good. That's a very poor percentage chance of dodging melee attacks. Greater chance of having his traits activate. It's neither here nor there, really. He really could do with luck. Should have re-rolled him to have luck. Whatever. Anyway, I'm going to give him the flag. Connie is coming along because I really need somebody with a bit of firepower and a great trait. And then because complete missions with Jesus is part of my daily quest, he's coming along. I'm going to give him something that can reduce threat. I've got two characters that I don't really rate. And that's Gabriel and Jesus here. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Flipping Commonwealth walkers as far as the eye can see. Okay, so what do you do against Commonwealth walkers? Well, they're very resistant to status effects. Status effects can take effect if you have harmed them enough. That increases the chances of them being afflicted by something, but otherwise, they're just a real tough bunch of SOBs. I think this is going to prove to be a very difficult mission as we get into the higher levels. Taking a character like Connie, trying to pick off the walkers in a small bunch if possible, or if you can cause a lot of damage, just lobbing something downrange, maybe from an assault class like Mercer. Mercer can punch through that armor. Try and get loads of them under a blast, cause lots of damage all at once. That might work. I'm wondering how resistant they are to being misled. What if we just try something here? I'm just going to jump back into that mission, and I just want to see if something works. Always saying about using the Whisperer's Mask. I'm always saying about using Walker Mike as well. We're just going to see if we can dupe these guys. Now, they're resistant to status effects. Does that include flares? If they are, that's a problem. If they're not, okay, well, I think I've just found a strategy that works. Now we're going to get the attention of this guy, but that is one walker as opposed to an entire horde. They're closing in. You might have difficulty slowing them down. They can avoid herding. Okay, that's handy to know. Gabriel, can you dodge? That's supposed to be your thing. Oh, you can take them out. Okay, so they can avoid herding. They don't avoid being affected by flares. That's handy to know. So you've got a strategy there. Maybe rushing past them, getting that door open, because it's going to be very tough to deal with them when it gets to higher difficulties. I'm thinking you can still slow them down with things like Tyrese. Hit them with Tyrese's charge attack. Create those debuff circles. They're still going to move slowly through those. So that's something that you can do. If anyone's got any really good strategies for that mission, I'd love to hear them, because I don't have that many ideas. Flares seem to be a good thing. Grenades, of course, will punch through their armor. Doesn't matter how tough they are, it causes a flat amount of damage. Stun grenades, no, they can work, I mean, they're not likely to. And Gabriel is not a particularly useful leader on that particular mission. Scorched Earth, go to exit. Okie dokie. I am going to keep these supports. I always talk about how good Walker Mike and the Whisperer's Mask are, and then I never really use them in the game. So I think I should take my own advice. I suppose it is worth considering that the Whisperer's Mask is going to be a lot less effective if we're going to be facing a lot of these guys. You know something that is worth considering? These are unique walker types. So you're going to be getting more XP for killing them. I am just trying to find a positive here. This is a map where you've got some mobility. So I think what we can do maybe, especially when it gets very, very difficult, is we can start to use our speed to get around these guys. Question: does Walker Mike work on Commonwealth walkers? I think we should put it to the test. I am guessing that we'll be able to do that in the next mission as well. I think we're going to be facing an awful lot of Commonwealth walkers here. They are an interesting opponent. I kind of like the way that they work. The fact that they are resistant to status effects. Something that is very, very effective in this game. I would be very, very keen to bring Glenn along for this. I'm going to keep on bringing Jesus solely because he is in that daily quest. When you're actually playing, I strongly recommend put Glenn in the number 3 spot. Hi, Nathan. Are you actually a human? Yes, you are. He looks an awful lot like a Commonwealth war. I mean, of course he does, because it's the same armor. He looked like he was just kind of sort of wobbling there. So we've got some humans to deal with. So far, this guy, not a problem. The long-range walkers tend to be... Oh, there we go. Got to use Gabriel's skill, I guess. We've got a threat counter on this one, so being quiet or reducing threat is good. Looks like we have 2 humies that we've got to deal with. And that's it. Well, humans can be stunned. They can't be distracted like walkers, but anything else kind of works against them. So, keep that threat low. Maybe bring a bruiser along or 2. Try and take them on one at a time. Get up close and personal with ranged humans, or outrange them using things like high-powered weapons. Bear in mind that you could stun them. You could build up charge points if you've got Connie on your team. I can't see that being a challenging mission. And maybe you don't need Glenn, because you can get rid of the problem that starts on the screen, and then just you've got time to search those crates. I can't see that being a very challenging mission for anybody. If it is, you know, let me know. I'm sure that I can help you, or somebody else can. But yeah, I don't think that's going to be a challenge for many people. I think that first mission that we took, the one where you got to open the gate and you've got a whole swarm of Commonwealth walkers closing in on you, I think that's going to be a lot more dangerous. Now, the first turn, what we're going to do is we are going to cuddle up with Connie, and we're going to see if we can get some charge points or damage increases. These are our targets. You can see that there's that glowing, pulsing halo around their type. There's not a threat counter. It's interesting to know. So we can make some noise. Ba, 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 ba. At the moment we can put those Commonwealths down one at a time. That will change. We've got a lot of walker types here that are subject to being stunned and aren't resistant to status effects. That's worth bearing in mind. Our biggest enemy, our biggest asset, sorry, is that there's no threat counter. And it's a kill all walkers we can take as long as we want. We could cuddle up next to Connie every single damn turn until everyone is fully charged, has that full power boost. We can see that something's moving down here. I don't know what it is. We're going to advance on Overwatch. Where the heck is it? How? Okay, let's cut it off. Okay, there we go. So there's no time limit on that. What you could do, maybe pick some ranged characters, take everything out from a distance. There's no threat counter. Killer Walkers tends to be the easiest mission type, even if there's going to be a lot of Commonwealths on there. Grenades, if you're really struggling, if it's getting to a higher difficulty setting, level, and you do find yourself not being able to take them out so quickly. Grenades, great idea. Stun grenades might not stun the Commonwealths, but they will shove them back a space. Still slow them down with the likes of Tyrese's debuff circles. We know that flares will distract Commonwealths. Deadly hike, kill all walkers. Okay. Another kill all walkers. This should be the same. No threat counter. The ability to take our time. I like the fact that we've got Gabriel, Padre Gabriel, a man of God, and we have Jesus. I was trying to think of another character who might sort of keep that going, and I just couldn't think of anybody else who kind of sort of really fits with that kind of biblical theme. We can make as much noise as we want. We can take all the time in the world. Looks like they've got some little surprises for us popping out as they did there. How many turns do we have people popping out on us? Looks like just the one. We better be prepared for that. But what we could do to negate that, just stay on the starting positions. If you've got Connie, just stay cuddled up and be ready for that one to jump out at you. Just be aware that he's going to do that. Get ready to deal with him. The fewer that you're taking on at a time, the better. Obviously, one target at a time is a lot easier to take on than 5 or so. No threat counter. You can see what we're doing here. We're just letting them come to us. Again, let's see how much XP we're getting. You're getting a decent amount of XP. That's one thing for this weekly challenge. It's one thing you can definitely say. You're gonna come out of it being able to upgrade some heroes and equipment. That's for damn sure. Just take your time. I can't see that one being too tricky. Now, maybe there are elements that will be introduced later on that will add to the challenge, but those 2 kill or walker ones, the principle of advancing slowly, I strongly suggest taking Connie because you don't have to rush and you can use her ability to the best. Would be a good idea. Try and take them on one at a time. Just take it slow. Take your time. And remember, we've got a seasonal event on, so you want to get at least 610 stars in the weekly challenge to make sure that you've got the maximum amount of rewards that you can get, like that, for the seasonal event. Supply chain, find the loot and get out. Okay, looks like we can bring Glenn. Looks like we got humans, and it doesn't look like we've got any Commonwealth walkers. Now that's interesting, isn't it? Tell you what, mate, take the Ruby Reaper. I kind of like that one. Yep, let's do it. I haven't really got any strategy for how to maximize the fact that Gabriel is the star hero is just not a very good character. And, alright, so immediately I am thinking I should have used ranged characters. I think I might have made a mistake here. Yeah, you see, just because of that. So we've made a mistake here. I really think that ranged characters, with things like high-powered weapons, much more effective against human enemies. The AI isn't very bright when you're at a great distance. It's just not very smart. We've got 2 exits here. I think that what you want to do, when you're taking on those humans, you're going to want to be looking at sort of stunning them in any way that you can. I mean, take them out from a distance and they just don't know what to do. If you've got anything with extreme range like the burnout rifle, that's great. Otherwise, even just normal weapons with high power will be very, very useful. Again, at a very long range, the AI just does not know what it's doing. You don't have to kill these humans either. All you got to do is search these boxes and then get out of here. So you can actually, if you can find a way to make it so that the humans and the walkers are dealing with each other as opposed to you, then that's a good way of just getting about your job and just leaving them to it. You will be the priority for targeting. I've seen it before where I've thought, right, great, those humans trapped, they're going to be fighting the walkers, and they've gone out of their way to try and attack me, which is very rude, but they do it. So you've got to be wary of that. In the beginner's guide, I can't remember who wrote it, but there's a very comprehensive beginner's guide which tells you how the enemy AI will target you, and that's handy to know. But the fact does still remain that you can make it so that the enemy attacks each other. We are back to the start. Interesting set of missions. Some are very tricky. Some seem to be very easy. Some are a bit of an unknown quantity, like that last one that we did. Is that going to get very tricky when we get to a higher difficulty setting? I don't know. We'll find out. But there you go. That's what we got with the Commonwealth War. If you've got any suggestions for tactics and tips and things like that, please do let me know. If you struggle with any particular mission, again, do say so and somebody will be able to help. But that's the weekly challenge. Good luck to you and your guild. Catch you in the next video.